Well, Mr. Jerry Jarrett had some comments about Jim Crockett Promotions. Producer Steve's got that queued up for us, David. Let's take a listen.
Oh,
All
God
right,
damn.
Gary, I'm going to play this. So, the Great American Bash, David Allen Coe, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, probably 30 other talent on the card. They ran in '86. Can you tell us a little bit about that story, what you remember of it? Because it is 36 years ago.
Yeah, well, I have to give you some background. I was promoting Atlanta for Jim Barnett. Jimmy Crockett shows up and doesn't tell me who he is. I don't know him from Adam. I was buddies with his father and have great respect for him then and now. But Jimmy just came, walked up on the stage, and I said, "Who's that guy over there?" One of the rest said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, throw his ass off the stage. He doesn't have any business back here." Well, after they put him out, I found out it was Jimmy Crockett. I said, "Why in the world didn't he come introduce himself to me?" So then now, fast forward, and Eddie Einhorn calls me and says, "Vince McMahon is going to go worldwide. I'd like to get the promoters together in Chicago and figure out a plan. I've got some money and I'm willing to put in." So 10 or 12 of the active promoters at the time all went to Chicago. Jimmy Crockett was one of them, Bill Watts, Eddie Graham, me. Anyway, we had a match. That group decided for me to produce the television. So I produced shows in Memphis and Louisville. We put them on in New York, and the Meadowlands was 400 short of a complete sellout. Very successful. I got a call in my hotel from Bill Watts. He said, "I'm not going to be there tonight, Jerry. I've decided that I'm going to run against Vince myself." Crockett and Dusty come in to where I'm lining up the matches and says, "We want to be straight up with you. We're going to go in business ourselves." So here, two of the main people pull out. Make a long story short, even in spite of the sellout and the successful ratings, that was the end of the venture against Vince McMahon, and everybody knows the rest of the story. So that's the background. But like you said, son, there's no heat. I mean, I thought he was stupid coming in to run against us in Memphis because, you know, we knew how to protect our business and our territory and book against them. So it was a one-time in and faded there and lost a lot of money and went out. We did have one successful co-show that drew $54,000 in Memphis. I don't have anything against Jimmy. As a matter of fact, I like the Crockett family. I didn't know them personally, but, you know, from what I knew of them, they were a good bunch of people. I'm sure that Rick and Dusty got in Jimmy's ear and said, "Well, if he can draw in Memphis, we can." So anyway, that was a big mistake on their part, but that's the only history I have with them.
Any interaction with David or
No, I really didn't. I think David was in the technical end of it, best I remember. But Jimmy got enamored with the talent, and they talked him into buying jet airplanes and wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and the rest of the promoters got a little kick out of that. But Watts went under, and so did Crockett.
So there you go, Mr. Crockett. That's his version of events when you guys tried to work together. What do you remember of?
Who was the biggest figure on that marquee in that event in Chicago? Want to pull that up again?
Well, I would guess you had a thing or two to say about that.
Oh yeah, I know what went on. I absolutely know what went on. Do they think I forget? I wrestled Lawler in Memphis. We sold out. I wrestled Jerry. Oh, who is that guy on the left? I don't see Jeff there.
Hmm.
I don't see Jerry there. I see Magnum. I see the Freebirds. I see the Road Warriors. I don't see anybody working the Memphis territory there. So I can tell you what happened. We sold out Lexington. We sold out Memphis. We were going to go to the Blue Bonnet Bowl. And I'm not going to put anybody's name now. They didn't want to do the favor. Then the favor bounced over to Dundee. Dundee said, I won't do it. So they put Coco Viewer in it. We tore the joint down.
Well, I don't know.
He's right. He's right. You know, they try to use our talent as stepping stones.
Have you ever heard of a promotion in Memphis, Tennessee, or national promotion that was anything but a scam until this show, unless it was WCW or WWE?
So, Rick, you consider the Jarrett promotions to be scams?
No, I'm saying that's inaccurate information.
Yeah.
That whole thing. I was there. I put Lawler over. I was glad to do it. But we were coming back to the Blue Bonnet Bowl as part of the Great American Bash. They backed out. So you can ask Jerry. The best one to ask is Lawler. Lawler and I are very close now. He'll relive it for you. And I'm sure it wasn't Jerry's decision not to put me over, because Jerry and I, we made music. You know, Jerry, I don't know what part of the promotion Jerry owned, but I don't think Jerry called the shots. I think the other Jerry did. And I'm sure they felt, well, there's nothing to gain by having me beat Lawler as the world champion. And there wasn't. It was just a pre-arranged deal. Right, David?
That is correct. You know, I'd look at it. They wanted us to do all the work of pushing the rock up the hill, and then they take credit for it. Doesn't work that way.
Right.
Yes, we made mistakes. I'll agree.
Yeah.
But, you know, I dare
Every
you. The arrogance of, you know.
Every promotion in the country at that time was when Vince decided to jump on USA, every promotion in the country was scrambling. But the biggest promoter at that time, and it's one of the reasons I got a shot at the title, was Jim Crockett Promotions. The Dallas territory wasn't as big. The Portland territory wasn't as big. The Florida territory wasn't as big. Georgia wasn't as big. You know, you're looking at from South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, all the way up to Baltimore, into Philadelphia, all the way to Chicago. And David and I say this 1,000 times. If we had stayed west of the Mississippi, they'd still be in business. We had more talent and we had a better product.
Yeah, I'm going to say right now that, you know, he talks about us sucking up to Rick. You want to talk about people sucking up. Look at Mr. Jarrett and his daddy, TBS. Everybody was coming on their hands and knees to get their talent on TBS, because when Vince was coming, we had the only show in town, #1 on cable, #1 everywhere in the U.S., #1.
Do you know how
program? And
Conrad,
for them to say, "Wait, hold on," we getting pissed off here. You know, for Jerry to say that, you know, I don't know this guy. Well, guess what? You know, who knows you? You might be known around Memphis and Nashville, but, you know, Are they going to run up in the airport? Oh, Jerry, please, son.